because you did spend time with JK Dobbins. As him as a person, when you saw him get through, and you and I have talked about injuries a lot, and I think especially for a guy being a running back, and it's no knock to the long snappers, Nick. You get up to 19, 20 miles an hour, you are a beast. Yeah. Running back position, it almost feels like it could be a death sentence for the injuries that he's had. Just talk about just him as a person, like his personality. What is one thing that you've noticed through JK in the time that you've known him? Like, what's something that sticks out to you about the guy, JK Dobbins?
I think the biggest thing that comes to mind when I think JK is his big old smile. That guy was always smiling. He was always laughing. He was always joking. He's just a really good person. And, I didn't know him that much at the beginning. We came in together, but he had some serious injuries. That first year, I was on practice squad, so I wasn't really around him that much because I wasn't on the team, and it was COVID. So everyone was having to be, apart. And then in 21, when I first got onto the scene, he had that knee injury and wasn't around, during that time. And then in 22, it was kind of the same way. Got to talk to him a little bit in 22, but it was really last year where I reached out to him after the injury because I was already about 6 weeks in post-surgery and with the same injury. So I just reached out to him as, try to be a resource for him and try to be there because he had battled through so much. And like you said, at the running back position, and we saw this with Todd Gurley. We've seen this with, countless number of running backs over the years. One major injury like that could completely affect your career, completely change where the trajectory of your career. And JK didn't just have one, he had 4. And for him to be able to go through that, and I could imagine how dark those times were. I know last year, it was tough. It was tough for me. It was tough for him. It was tough for, and he's had to do that not just one time, but he's missed 2 full seasons. And basically 2022, he missed the majority of the season. Mm-hmm. And so I know how difficult that is. And so for him to be able to go through that, get his opportunity in LA, get a fresh start, and do what he's done this year, it just speaks to the volume of his character and his work ethic. Because a lot of dudes, a lot of guys, one injury, it's like, all right, I can battle through this. But it's that second one, that dude, you're like, man, fuck this, I'm out. Like, I can't keep coming back from this. It's too hard.
It takes you to a dark place.
It does. It affects you not just physically, but mentally. It affects you emotionally. It affects how you act at home. It affects, how you are in the facility. It affects everything in your life. And I had some dark times. I mean, this time last year, man, I was in a fucking spiral. So I know what it's about. And for him to be able to go through that all those times and lose his opportunity in Baltimore, have to start over with a new team. Granted, a lot of the coaches are the same. So it's a similar environment, but he's going to a new place. And for him to have the success that he has, the only thing you can accredit that to is his work ethic and his character as a human being and his willingness to continue to go at it day in and day out when all the odds are stacked against him. If that man does not win Comeback Player of the Year, it's going to be an absolute travesty. It's going to be worse than what the college football committee is trying to do right now. Yeah. And I just think there's nobody in the league that has gone through what he's gone through consecutive years in a row, and to be able to show up and perform at the level that he's performing this season. It's like the kid's never been hurt in his life. You can barely tell that he's gotten hurt at all. So
I think it's an attitude. It's an attitude about which you conduct yourself on a day-to-day. We've talked about it on the show here that a lot of people can be dealing with things internally, whether you understand that or not. And I'm glad you opened up about saying you were in a spiral. I had back-to-back injuries with my ankle to start my career in the minors on the same ankle where I missed a ridiculous amount of time. And I'm sitting there in a dark place going, am I going to get back to that? I already rehabbed once. I got to rehab again. And your confidence is low, but you have a choice. You either buck up and go back each day, or you can just be, oh, woe is me. And I think what you're saying is JK didn't show it. Whether he felt that way or not,
never knew it.
On his face, man, and made other people feel comfortable and go about his way. I'm with you. comeback player of the year, I'd love to see JK get it
100%.
because I don't think people realize how freaking hard it is to put yourself through another year knowing that you might not be the same player you were and doing it again and again.
Yeah.
It messes with you. So I appreciate that, Nick.